You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Grace Tutor. As you know that we are still working on conic section, and we want to look at another position of a cutting plane on the cone. So the first one that we did, we obtained the conic section that we obtained is a circle when the cutting plane is parallel to the base of the cone. Now we have the cutting plane as we have here on this diagram. So we want to work on cutting plane BB. So if the cutting plane BB cut this part of the cone off, so what will be the shape that we are going to see here, and what will be the shape, how will that shape look in the plan? And that is what we want to do right now. Now, before I put the cutting plane as we did, I've drawn the circle, I've divided the circle into 12 equal parts, and also I've done the repeated some things that we did in the first part of this topic. So the next thing I want to do now is to join these points at the base here. I want to join them with the apex of the cone. So we also did something like this in the first part of this topic. So now I will also join this one to the apex of the cone. Likewise, this one I will join it to the apex of the cone. Okay, now I want to put the cutting plane, but before that I need to make the base of the cone, I need to make it a thick line, and that's what I want to do now. So this is it. Okay, now so the next thing that I want to do is that I want to put the cutting plane. So the cutting plane with my 30 degrees set square, I want to use 30 degrees set square to put the cutting plane, and this is it. Alright, so this is cutting plane BB. So this is cutting plane BB. Okay, so now, so you want to obtain the shape. How will this shape look in the plan? So what you just need to do is to take your set square. So you put it at this point. The cutting plane is touch this point here, touch it here, touch it here, touch it here, touch it here, and touch it here, and this is the last point. So we are going to produce vertical line from each of these points. Don't forget that this point is point 0, so you draw a vertical line down into the plan. So you draw like this. So when it touch line 0, so you stop it there. So you take note of this point. Then from point 1 and 11, so draw a vertical line. So you touch 1 at this point, and you touch 11 at this point. Then 2 and 10, so draw a vertical line down from this point. So you touch 2 at this point, and you touch 10 at this point. Then for 3 and 9, so what we need to do here is to come up here on this vertical line that contains 3 and 9. Draw a horizontal line to this side, and you take your compass and take this distance from here. Take this distance from here to here. Okay, take this distance. So bring it to the center, and then you make an arc here, and you make an arc here, like this. Okay, so you take note of this point and this point here. So next is with my set square. Okay, so bring it to this point 4 and 8. So draw a vertical line. So you touch 4 at this point, and touch 8 at this point. Then 5 and 7. So draw a vertical line. So you touch 5 at this point. This is 5, and you touch 7 at this point. Last one is 6. So draw a vertical line down here, and this is point 6 here. Okay, so let's join this together to obtain the shape in the plan. So we join this together with the use of a French curve. So we join this together. Okay, all right. So I believe you know how to use a French curve. you don't know how to use it, just look at the way I'm doing it. So just make sure the points are on the curve part of the French curve. So then you draw and you have a perfect curve. So this is it. So this is the shape that we obtain in the plan. So I'm going to draw arching lines on this. Okay, so that as I said, that if the cone happens to be a solid object, so you are going to see a rough surface on this part. So that's why we need to arch this surface here to show the roughness of that surface. That's the purpose of putting arching lines. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is to obtain the true shape. So to obtain the true shape, as the cutting plane BB is inclined at an angle 30 degrees to the horizontal, so we are going to draw perpendicular line to each of these points. So what you need to do is to make use of your 60-degree set square. So 60-degree side of your 30 by 60-degree set square. So you have to draw a perpendicular line to this point like this. Then you come to this point, so you draw a perpendicular line. You come to this point, you draw a perpendicular line. So you come to this point here, draw a perpendicular line, come to this point, draw a perpendicular line. Here you draw a perpendicular line, and then the last one you draw a perpendicular line to this. Then with your 30-degree side of the set square, so draw a line in this direction. So on this line we have what we have line. This is 0.0 and this is 0.6. So you want to locate the other point. So to locate the other point, you take your set square, you take your compass, and you put at this point, at the center point here, between at the middle of 1 and 11. So you put it here and you take this distance like this. So you take this distance with your compass, so bring it to this line that contains 1 and 11. So you make an arc here, and then you make an arc here. Then the next one is 210. So 210, put it at the distance between 2 and 10. So take this distance, bring it to this line that contains 2 and 10, and you make an arc here. Then you make an arc here. Then you bring it to the line that contains 3 and 9. So take this distance, so bring it to this line that contains 3 and 9. So you make an arc up here, make an arc down here. Then this line that contains 4 and 8. So take this distance, so bring it to the middle here where we have line 4, 8. So make an arc here, and then you make an arc here. Then you bring it to this point that contains 5 and 7. So take this distance, this distance, so bring it to this point, and you make an arc here, then you make an arc here. So then the last one is what is 0.6. So here we have this point. So these are the points we are going to join together. So we are going to join this point together with the use of a French curve so that we can see what the true shape will look like. So that's what we are trying to do here. So when the cutting plane goes in direction of cutting plane B, so the shape that we are going to obtain here is what we want to produce. So I believe you know the name of that shape. So, and I will also tell you. So this is it. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is the shape. So if you look at this shape, it's it's an ellipse, so it's an ellipse. So we have an ellipse. So when the cutting plane BB, when we have the cutting plane, direction of cutting plane BB, so what the tree shape will be is an ellipse. So that's what we are trying to work out here, so that you will not choose the wrong answer. So when you see the cutting plane BB in direction as we have on the cone, so make sure that you should choose the right answer, which is the ellipse for the true shape. So this is what we are trying to do here. So thank you for watching and thank you for listening. So take note of the direction of the cutting plane, or the position of the cutting plane on the cone. So that's what will determine the shape that you have to obtain as the true shape. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. God bless you.